Welcome to the Dose of Precious podcast.
Real talk, good vibes, and Jim's authentic. Welcome to A Dose of Precious. Guys, I promise I'm going to stop screaming real soon. So, just for a quick check-in, overall, I'm still blessed. I'm here. I'm happy. Today was a really good day, and so I'm happy for that. Other than that, I'm doing good, and I hope that you guys are doing good too. Let's jump right into viral talk.
Viral talk.
So the first thing that I want to talk about today is the Breakfast Club Lauren Just Hilarious whole debacle. So if you guys aren't caught up on what's going on, basically Just Hilarious went on to a live. I'm not sure which platform it was on. Probably Instagram or TikTok, and she was basically just expressing her concerns about Lauren continuing to be on the show. So Jess Hilarious signed a contract to be the third host on The Breakfast Club. She soon after got pregnant and had to go on maternity leave. During her maternity leave time, she had Lauren replace her. During the time of Lauren replacing Jess, a lot of the fans or the watchers, the people that watch the show, listen to the show, whatever, voiced their opinion, saying that they like Lauren a lot better. Lauren has more of a journalism background, and Jess is more of a comedian, Instagram personality. And so, of course, the approaches are going to be different because of their background, but we're going to get into that. Basically, when Jess came back from maternity leave, Lauren was still there, and Jess was just wondering why Lauren was still there. She had asked around a few times and kind of got them run around. Nobody was able to give her a straightforward answer. She also expressed her concerns as far as not feeling supported by her co-host.
What part? What you mean we don't have your back?
I have more.
Break that down. Explain how we don't have your back.
Okay, all right. So the narrative, like I said, with the online ish, that's what I said. Y'all ain't nobody trying to clear up no narrative about nothing. Ever since I came back, it was weird. Yes, it was weird. Yeah, I at first, no, I did not. I wasn't too fond of Lauren. Nah, I wasn't too fond of her when I came back, because we had a whole plan, even how when I came back, how I pick her to fill in for me, right? I come back, she ain't never leave. Then, all right, cool that she don't leave, but she's on only during my segment. If she was meant to be a fourth host, move her in another way. Why she got to be moved in on? Because nobody had a problem with Jess with the mess until she started reading right. You know what I mean? Till she started
So
reporting. I wasn't hired as a reporter. I was hired as Jess with the mess. So she started reading and delivering details and all that stuff.
Yes.
Then that's when Jess with the mess wasn't good enough no more. That's how it was presented. So I'm like, all right, cool.
But who said that though? Because the internet said
what
that?
are we talking about? No. This is our listeners. This is yeah. Why can't we worry about the comments? And these are people that enjoy the show and watch the show. It's not all about Instagram. It's YouTube. It's like, we have people that have been watching the show. Yeah, she's great at what she do. That's why I picked her to fill in for me. But when I came back, it's like, what's going on? If she's going to be a fourth voice, why she only got to be a fourth voice
correct me if
on
I'm
my
wrong.
segment?
She wasn't a fourth voice. She was a producer. She was hired as a news producer to help with getting all news and doing interview
She was going to be the
questions.
senior news producer.
She wasn't on there. When you came back, Lauren was not on there. She was in the back doing questions, sending interview questions, reporting the news. Am I lying?
I thought you was.
You
I
lying.
thought,
She was on air. She was on air.
They told her don't step in this room.
yes, but I thought you was using her on purpose.
What? You thought I was using Lauren on purpose?
Yes.
No. What are we talking about? No. She didn't leave when I came back. The first day we had a whole situation like, all right, look, this was going to happen. And when it's time for us to roll, it changed. No, the first question was about, the only person who asked me about my baby maternity leave was Envy. All right, I walked in. She addressed the hate in the comments. That was the first thing she addressed. when I came back. I'm like, what the hell would
But
make
y'all talk.
I want to talk about
Y'all talk
that?
off air though, right?
So yeah. We started talking off air.
They were able to have a conversation on air where Jess is able to express her concerns. And she basically says that she does not feel supported by her co-host, that she doesn't understand why Lauren is still on the show. If Lauren is a producer, then why isn't Lauren behind the scenes as opposed to being on the show? And so a lot of different people have a lot of different perspectives. I'm going to take two separate approaches as to my opinion on why things got to where they are. Now, the first one is coming from a corporate perspective. A lot of the times when we see these specific platforms like podcasts or TV shows, or even, because this is technically a radio show, we forget that it's a corporation behind them. This is a business essentially. So this is a corporate job. Jess signed a contract. Her contract stated whatever it states, the amount of money, the hours, the times, blah, blah, blah. According to that contract, she is supposed to do certain duties, and that is going to allow her to get paid, blah, blah, blah. We know how a job works. On the other end of the stick, you have to remember that this is a business, and the business is always going to look out for the best interest of the business. So, Jess goes on maternity leave. She comes back. The agreement is that when a woman goes on maternity leave and she comes back, that her job should still be there for her. And unfortunately, it seems like she was kind of replaced by Lauren. And so from that perspective, I do not agree. I think that Jess should keep in mind that this is a corporate job, which is the reason why I brought up all of this. And that being said, the business is always going to do what's best for the business. And therefore, if they feel like it's not necessary for them to tell you their next move, they won't tell you their next move. My advice as someone who has been unfortunately laid off before, and there were little signs, and I decided to ignore the little signs. I worked at a company, and the company, essentially right after hiring me, had these big discussions. They made it seem as if we were supposed to be merging with a larger company. Now, knowing what I know at the time, I didn't know that when you merge with a larger company, then essentially, the whole company gets laid off. And so they made it seem like our jobs were secure. Clearly, our jobs weren't, because 98% of the company was laid off. They had a little transition period. Some people were able to get absorbed or hired into the other companies that were under the umbrella of the larger company, but not everybody got that opportunity. Anyway, my point of saying all of this is to say that if you have a gut feeling that something is moving weird, or there's a shift in things and people aren't able to answer your questions straightforward and they're giving you the runaround, whatever your gut feeling is what's happening. And so Jess feels like she's being replaced by Lauren. She's being replaced by Lauren. Lauren is on the show still, even though she was supposed to leave after Jess came back. And she's only covering Jess's segment. That's exactly what's happening. Lauren is over talking her when she's trying to put in her input. She's being replaced by Lauren. Always, always, always follow your gut feeling. One thing that I am learning, and unfortunately this is a lesson that I should have learned way, way, way back when, and I still struggle with it till this day, is to follow my gut feeling. When I feel something and something feels off, that energy is your intuition, and follow it. Sometimes it may be wild. 99% of the time, had I followed my initial thought, had I followed that gut feeling, had I followed what my first instinct was and didn't go against it, then that would have been the right choice. Every time I say, and again, I'm teaching myself this now. Every time I say, no, this is not it. And then I'm like, well, da 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 da, and da 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 da. Okay, let me just do it. Either the process is miserable and the output is not worth it, or the process is miserable and I don't need to explain. Follow your gut feeling. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, that is exactly what you need to do. Society, I feel like, has taught people to go against how they're feeling. Follow your gut feeling. Jess, they are trying to replace you. I also want to preface, I'm not the hugest fan of Jess. I don't think that Jess is necessarily hilarious. I don't agree with a lot of the things that she says, but I do think that it's fucked up that she had this opportunity. They signed a contract. They agreed to have her on as talent, and then they just replaced her in front of her face. I don't think that company should be able to do that. But the truth is, they are able to do that. They can. A lot of times, a lot of the stuff that they do are within their means. I'm not saying that all companies do the right thing, but a lot of the times it is within their means. And if the contract doesn't exclusively say certain terminology, certain phrases, then it's nothing wrong with them bringing on a fourth person. And there may be language in the contract stating that they can replace her if they see best fit. A lot of the times when you have a job and they say things like at will, and we always say, oh no, they're not gonna do this because my role is so important, blah blah blah. Girl, a job, a company, a corporation, a business will replace you super quick. For my corporate girlies, for the girls that are just entering into the corporate space, especially if you are a Black woman, not saying that it isn't difficult for everybody, because I'm sure everybody has their challenges. I know everybody has their challenges in the corporate setting, but for specifically Black women, follow your intuition. Always stay professional. Another tip that I would have for somebody in this situation, because I've definitely been in situations where it's been challenging to work with certain people that are on my team. If need be, kind of like the approach, Lauren said that she decided to have a off-camera conversation with Jess, just making sure that she's okay, that she is fine with having her on the show and stuff like that. And then they had a third person in there, kind of like to be a mediator and just to have a listening ear, just in case some things were lost in translation or whatever the case may be. And I definitely think that that's a good approach to take. Number one, if it was not in writing, it did not happen. Learned that the hard way. Well, not really. Somebody taught me that and I was like, okay, let me always email. Number two, when you are having a challenging situation with someone in your corporate setting, my advice would be to try to have a mediation type of situation where you can have someone that's above both of you guys sit there and mediate, and then you guys kind of talk through some type of resolution that would be beneficial for both parties. Because again, navigating the corporate world, especially as a Black woman, is hard. It's hard. It's really difficult. Like the day-to-day things is just like draining. And again, I agree that this should not be happening. If Lauren, who they've now said is a producer, if Lauren is supposed to be an executive producer, then executive producers most of the time are behind the scenes. Now, there are specific situations, or she's some type of producer. There are certain situations where you can be talent and a producer, but most of the time producers are behind the scenes. So the other side is from the business side. Now, 9 times out of 10, businesses do not like to put their challenges on the forefront. So another side, you'll see a theme if you watch my videos, that I don't believe a lot of the things that the media puts out there. The reason why I don't believe a lot of the things that the media puts out there is because everything is done, especially in 2005, to be a spectacle. And what I mean by that is they do a lot of things in order for them to get attention, to garnish views, to keep a certain perspective. It's odd to me that all of this will be going on and this needs to be worked out in front of the cameras for the world to see. Now, on one hand, this will bring views because people like drama. Let's be so for real. On the other hand, it's kind of like doesn't this make you guys look so unprofessional? You have DJ Envy, who clearly was a little bit frustrated by Jess saying that they didn't have her back. You have Charlemagne, who's very close with Jess, allegedly. This is what the people say. But he was joking about the entire thing. And then you have Lauren and Jess, two successful, beautiful black women arguing with each other on the forefront. Either way, it all looks messy. Any way that you want to put it, it looks messy. It looks unorganized. It looks unprofessional. Again, either way that you put it. On the other hand, this could all be very strategic and it could be used to make views. It could be true and still be used to make views. So I don't really know. I just feel like, again, I agree with Jess. This is wrong. If Lauren was only supposed to be there during her maternity leave, then she should not necessarily leave the whole show, but she shouldn't be on air if she's supposed to be a producer. That's messed up. And I also wanted to say that Jess telling Lauren to hush and to shut up and everything that she said, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's okay. I think there's a way for them to both be on the show, in my opinion, and still have their opinion, still be able to voice how they feel and their perspectives and whatnot. I think there's room for both of them. Some people said it's not enough room for 4 people. During the trial period, there was plenty of scenarios where they had 4 people on the show and it wasn't a lot, in my opinion. And so if that's the setup that they want, then that's something that they could do. Is definitely possible. But they're just choosing not to. Or, no, they're not choosing not to. They are choosing to have them both on the show because they are both on the show. I don't know. The whole situation is messy. We'll see how everything plays out. As of right now, I feel like it's a money grab or attention grab, and they're just using this as a way to bring attention back to the Breakfast Club. Now, I know that the show is still popular. A lot of people say, who watches the show? Who watches the show? I personally don't, who listens to the show? I personally don't listen to the radio, so I don't listen to the show, but there are certain interviews that I do watch. I don't necessarily like a lot of their takes, to be quite honest, so I haven't watched their interviews in a while, actually. But it is still a popular platform, and so we'll see how things play out. So, topic number 2, we're going to be talking about Teyana Taylor and Iman Shepherd's divorce. Recently, Teyana came onto the internet. She went on a live and she was basically just expressing her feelings about the divorce. Now, their divorce was finalized a year ago. So why are we now finding out what she got in the divorce? Well, according to Teyana, it's because Iman leaked those documents. He shared those documents with the world, and that's why we know all of her business. Now, let's look into what Teyana got from the divorce, because I do want to talk about that. Before I even find this, I want you guys to remember that Teyana did not come into this situation a broke bitch. The real OG, My Super Sweet 16, whatever the name of the show was, knows that Teyana's mom been had money, so she came from a decent family, and so she's not some broke bitch. So all of the people that were saying that she took Iman for all he got, Iman is still very much so still has money. Let's be very clear. And Teyana didn't enter this situation being a broke bitch. So stop it.
The fact that you are okay with the world thinking that I took you for everything that you had the world thinking that I tried to get you locked up, sitting here playing victim, leaking these rumors that make him look bad. Some people are okay with looking bad just as long as you look worse. Before this divorce, during this divorce, and after this divorce, I protected that man with all I had in me. All I asked for was for him to stand up for me. You see what's happening. You see it's not true. If I didn't file that motion, then I would have had to continue to deal with this. I have 3 movies coming up and a TV show coming up in the same year. You think I want to keep dealing with, oh my God, new movie comes out. Here's another random rumor about a divorce that's a year old. Second movie come out. Here's another rumor. Third movie come out. Here's another rumor. And then it's always conveniently coming out when Iman has a new song or a new venture coming his way. But what we're not going to do is act like I wasn't Tiana Taylor before I got with Iman Shumpert. Iman Shumpert was not even in the NBA when I was Tiana Taylor.
What I will say is, it did seem a little funny that after she posted the picture with Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa, all of a sudden this stuff gets leaked. I feel like people forget how fragile men's egos are. And it almost feels like after a man, and this is just my opinion and this is just my experience, but after a man ends a relationship with you, he wants you to be down bad and he doesn't ever want you to find love or happiness again. And I don't necessarily think that it always comes from a place of hate. I think it just comes from a place of their ego. Them feeling like, why would you ever be able to move on after you had me? Like, why would you be happy when they're probably not happy themselves? Especially if they leave you with a baby. Now, this situation is different because at the end of the day, they were married. And so I can't say the baby mama, baby daddy thing. But, you know, nowadays I be feeling like a man will try to baby mama you to humble you. What do I mean? He'll get you pregnant on purpose to humble you. And it's so crazy to me that I even came to this point because I was so on the other side for so many years. But I see how these men move and it's crazy. And it's so wild to me that this narrative that is being put out here now that she took him for everything he had, when one, he's clearly still doing fine financially. If he was broke, the girls would know. And then number two, y'all are making it seem like she wasn't Tiana Taylor before Iman. I mean, let's be so fucking for real. And this is not to be shady. He's a rich man. I mean, I think he's handsome. All of the things, right? But it's not like he ain't Kobe. I mean, he ain't, I was going to say Dwight Howard, but Dwight Howard ain't Dwight Howard no more. He ain't Dwayne Wade. He's not fucking Steph Curry. He's Iman Shumpert. If it wasn't, the true tea is, and I'm not into basketball, but the true tea is I wouldn't know who this man was if it wasn't for Tiana. Let's talk about that. And so for y'all to act like she's just like some random little hoochie who called her a big fish and took all his money to me is insane. Because I literally would not know who that man was. And granted, I don't watch sports. But I would not know who that man was if it wasn't for Tiana. So I don't know how. The plot has been lost. The plot has been fucking lost. Because what? And then it's so fucked up because on the live, I did see clips of the live. On the live, she's like, Iman, like, people are threatening my life. Like, they saying they're going to kill me. Like, I don't feel safe. Can you come out and say something? And this nigga starts an argument about something that happened a year ago. What? This is somebody that you love. She was literally your wife. Aside from that, she has your kids. Wouldn't you want, even if you hated her guts, wouldn't you want your kids to be safe so you would do what needs to be done to make sure that they're safe? What? I don't get it. It's like sometimes like men will try to hurt you so bad that they will burn everything in their path to get to you. And that shit is sick. It's sick in the head. It's freaking sick in the head. I was just like, oh my gosh. Again, I want to know. I would not know who Iman was if it wasn't for Tiana. And so, all of the other bullshit is insane to me. Because I'm just like, who the fuck is this person? Now, I watched The Chai. The Chai. Is it The Chai? I think it is The Chai. I do watch The Chai, and he was on the show. And so, yeah, I would know him from that, regardless of, I guess, Tiana at this point. Well, not regardless of Tiana, because then we found out that Tiana got him the fucking job. But I would know him from that at least, but yeah, cut that shit out. Like, y'all gotta use your brain. Think logically. How she took him for all she got, and she clearly had money herself. And it's not like they said, oh, Sutton, if you are a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills girl, Sutton, call her a big fish. She gets a six-figure check. A six-figure check, possibly even a seven-figure check, who knows? But she definitely gets a six-figure check every single month from her husband. Y'all love to talk about the black girls and these athletes who don't even really got money like that, and the white girls is really getting to the money. They finding businessmen that make the good money, and they catching them some big fish. They are putting in their divorce settlements. I don't remember who it was talking to, who we were. Oh, okay. The show Sherelle with Ocho. She basically wanted to add in a infidelity clause. Everybody's like, oh, why would she want to do that? Blah, blah, blah. Because that's what smart women do. Cheating and having multiple women is a rich man's sport. Let me say that again. Cheating and having multiple women is a rich man's sport. You need to have money to do that shit. If you get married and you don't get a prenup, you're dumb. Why are you dumb? Because that prenup is going to set the precedent as to what you will get after the divorce. A lot of the times we hear prenup and everybody runs away and they're so scared of it. You should get a fucking prenup. Get a prenup and you put that infidelity clause in there. You put certain stipulations to make sure that if this thing does not work out, that you're okay. Especially if this person is upgrading your lifestyle. Clock that. If he is updating your lifestyle, upgrading your lifestyle, then you put certain things in that document so that when y'all get that divorce, that you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to sustain that lifestyle that he done introduced you to. And the number one thing is that infidelity clause. Of course, if your man is broke and y'all are both poor and he hates to work and you take care of him and you pay all the bills, girl, we not talking about you. Well, maybe you should, because if you get a little coin, he might divorce you and try to take your money, because that's what the boys love to do too. We won't talk about that today. But you should put those type of things in place, because at the end of the day, if y'all are in a marriage together, 9 times out of 10, especially the woman, you're going to be pouring into whatever he has going on. You're going to be putting in your blood, your sweat, and your tears in order for him to get to that next level. And there's nothing wrong with him, especially if he's a good person, he's going to want to. But there's nothing wrong with him wanting to make sure that, or nothing wrong with him making sure that you are okay. Period. And the real tea is, if he kept his dick in his pants, the infidelity clause would be irrelevant anyway, right? Or if you're going to cheat good so that your wife never finds out. And I'm not condoning cheating, but men be so sloppy that it's as simple as y'all sitting down at dinner and the girl's calling his phone. And this nigga don't even have the decency to change the girl's number in the phone to make sure that you don't know that the girl is calling the phone. Or he start lying about dumb shit. He never went out. Now all of a sudden he go out every day. And you don't care about him going out, but it's just odd that he never went out. And now all of a sudden he going out every day. Or he shout out to Tiana. I hope that things get better for you. I'm sad that you're going through this and that you have to receive these types of threats. It's ridiculous. Moving on. I just wanted to quickly speak about Jonathan Majors and Megan Good. They got married. We are not going to say a congratulations. Jonathan is a known abuser. First of all, Jonathan's type is white women. He likes white women and he wants the white women to pretend to be black so that they can be his Coretta Scott. That's what I got from it. Fight me if you want to argue about it. If you want to argue, we could fight. Because what? Aside from that, I won't make the jokes that the people online make. What I will say is, why would you be with somebody while they're going through a case, but not just any court case, but a court case where he's being accused of beating his girlfriend's ass, and you showing up to the court case by his side? Y'all happen to get married, or engaged or married. Well, they're married, allegedly. Allegedly, they're married. And he's known for beating women's ass. He's known because he's had ex-girlfriends come out and say, oh, he beat my ass too. Oh, he beat your ass? He beat my ass too. Megan, I was hoping that this was like the publicity relationships, you know, the ones that they fake for attention and they're trying to change the narrative. And it still very well could be. But to get married, it's like crazy. Is it a legal marriage? Did anybody find the documents? Does anyone have the marriage license? Because then maybe I'll believe it. But I'm just like, what? And he seems just so weird. Like, he just seems so weird and so awkward. He just seems odd. He just seems like an odd man. I'm so disappointed in Megan. I loved Megan since as far back as I can remember. I think Megan is so beautiful. I think she is so gorgeous. And she was an actor. And she just was always like so classy and so sophisticated. They spoke about her dressing sexy. I still thought she was classy in her sexy stuff. I like Megan. I liked Megan. I liked Megan. Bitch, I don't know. But child, I don't like this. That's what I can say. I don't like this. And it makes me think, is Megan a pick-me? Did I miss the signs? When she was with her ex-husband, I was just like, yes, Megan. And I'm not even like super, you know, I don't know if I could marry a preacher or a pastor or whatever. But I was like, yes, like I love this for you. Like they felt so connected. They always spoke about like their spiritual bond. I was so here for that relationship. And they didn't work out, and that's fine. It happens. But I'm like, to go to Jonathan? Oh, gosh. I can't. Anyway, next topic. So I did really super quickly want to talk about the TeeTee and Brooklyn and Kai's girlfriend situation. So if you don't know about it, I'll put up a clip of essentially what happened and then we can talk about it.
I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna manifest this.
I'm getting married.
No.
Anybody ever tell you that? But you weird though.
No.
Like you
No. Get on him back. You don't tell her. You don't get on my friend like that.
100%. I'm about to get on your friend.
No.
She look good in it though.
So that's what you need to come up to her and say.
You know.
Now, even if they didn't say anything and gave him a stink look and didn't give him any response, I felt like that would have been suffice. But these two little bitches started like laughing. Now, one of the girls did stop the laugh and was like, don't say that. And he was like, no, she looks nice. And she was like, you know, well, then say that. We saw that in the video. So Brooklyn did, to some extent, try to stick up for her. Do I think that she could have done better? It could have been received better had she just simply not laughed and said what she said. Now, I can't put the responsibility completely on her because the truth is, TeeTee, I get that you're quiet and, you know, it may be difficult for you to speak up for yourself. And I get that that's a part of your personality, but you have to learn to speak up for yourself because people are, especially when you're a pretty girl, especially when people are intimidated by your energy, men are very sensitive And I'm not saying that as a way to cop out, but the truth is they are super sensitive. And so if you don't give a man the right response and it's the right man, like, he will definitely blow up on you. There's been times, I said this before, where I've been cursed out for not speaking to a man. I've been threatened for not speaking to a man. I've been, like, men have tried to embarrass me for not giving them the energy that they want. And so I've been in this situation before. Luckily, I've been in situations where I've had friends that have spoken up for me, and there was situations where I knew, of course, if I got threatened and he was trying to, like, beat me up, then I'm like, I'm not gonna really feed into it. It's not that serious if I'm by myself and stuff like that. But I've definitely had to defend myself verbally as well, and it can be difficult. It can be scary. I don't know why men do it. It was really unnecessary on his part. But I just feel like, why would her friends laugh like that? Essentially, she does get the last laugh because she sold the outfit for like $600. This got her a lot of attention that she didn't have before. Good attention from, followers and subscribers that really are supporting her and stuff like that. But it's just fucked up that her friends will be laughing at a grown man trying to clown her. I say all of that to say, TeeTee, them bitches are not your friends. Don't hang out with them anymore, because that's not okay. Your friends should stick with you, especially when it's up against a man. I wish that they had like a man there with them. I feel like all of them are popular enough to have some type of security. I know a lot of the times people say, oh, well, why does this person have security? Like, they don't need security, blah, blah, blah. You don't know how weird men are. Again, I am saying that I've been followed home by men. I've been cursed out by men by not talking to them. And I know I'm a regular person. Of course, I know I'm beautiful, but I mean, in the real world, I'm just a regular person. And so me knowing what I went through as navigating as just a woman, a dark-skinned woman that's regular in society, I can't imagine me having like this certain level of popularity and having to navigate that, because people are weird, and men are especially like to prey on women, and so they will do things that make you uncomfortable. And so my advice to them is maybe not on a day-to-day. You don't have to have security, or I know TeeTee has a boyfriend or whatever. But I think that when you're going to like big events like that, it's definitely worth having somebody there that's going to just be able to filter through these things. This situation did give them more attention or whatever. The other two girls, bad attention. TeeTee, good attention. But regardless, to all of you guys, just like be careful, because these men are weird, and he was weird for doing that. Of course, he's getting roasted because he was funny looking and old anyway, so why was he trying to talk to them? And he had a wife, and he tried to say his ugly ass bad built bush body wife that's white looks better than TeeTee. Mind you. I guess the wife didn't do nothing. I won't come for her. But that was funny as hell. It's always, you know what I find is the black men that date the white women, they be like so concerned with black women. Like, whenever I see couples and it's a black man and it's a white woman, I mind my business, because if that's what you like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to fight with you or nothing like that. That's not my business. And so I'm on my business. And the way they be trying to catch eye contact to get some type of reaction out of me is always hilarious. So I'm like, listen, love is love. If that's what you want to love, if that's what you like, then that's what you like. Well, what am I supposed to do? Anyway. Moving on to show recap.
Show recap.
So we're going to be recapping The Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 2. I want to say that so far, I am not loving the season. I may be picky. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for. I don't know. I guess I just hold Atlanta to a higher standard. Of course, we're going to start off with Shamia. Still love Shamia. Shamia's giving great energy. Love her. Shamia basically starts speaking about her process of trying to expand her family. She shared that she went through about 7 rounds of IVF. All of them were unsuccessful except for one, which was a ectopic pregnancy. And so when you have an ectopic pregnancy, basically, I should not assume. Let's look up what an ectopic pregnancy is. I have an idea of what it is, but I don't want to assume. I think it's when the egg implants in outside of the uterus, and so it's dangerous for the baby, and basically, essentially, you're going to have a miscarriage. Let's see if that's right. I got it right. Okay, an ectopic pregnancy occurs when a fertilized egg implants and grows outside of the uterus, most commonly in the fallopian tube. It can be life-threatening if not treated properly or promptly. Yeah. And so that's really, really dangerous. As they said, the baby is definitely not going to make it, but the mom can also die as well. And so most time, either the woman would miscarry or she would have to get a abortion. Anyway, she was just going through a lot with that. She met with her surrogate. That's how she had her second baby that has the medical complications. And basically during the pregnancy, the surrogate found out that she was diagnosed with cancer. The surrogate gets emotional about possibly being the reason why the baby had a bunch of medical conditions, which is heartbreaking. And so I just feel for all of the women that have gone through those type of complications. Send prayers out to Shamia, and I hope that she is able to expand her family. She is going to be moving forward with another surrogate. And so I hope that things work out for her. And I also quickly just wanted to speak about the relationship between Shamia and Portia. I think that Shamia has been super, super loyal to Portia. We've seen time and time again where Shamia goes hard. And I think on the flip side, we've seen Portia seem as if she doesn't really give a fuck about the friendship. I don't want to be dramatic, but that's just how I'm seeing it. It's not about the card thing. I think the card thing was not the best thing to do, but just in different scenarios. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a few other times where I felt like Portia just wasn't, I just felt like Portia wasn't going as hard for Shamia. And so
you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be in the wedding. Figure that shit out. Portia has dogged Shamia out, treated her like shit, and now she doesn't even want to go to the girl's wedding. So to me, I'm like, you really need her as your friend?
Like, physically, I just can't do it in coach.
Why don't you go to the doctor?
You know when I passed out at the nail shop.
She has been milking this whole...
I'm supposed to, Shamia.
Okay, put me on y'all's payroll. Okay, so help me understand the condition. Oh my God, I can't.
I sent you the whole thing on it.
I know, I was mad I didn't read it.
Oh, that's not nice.
Why was mad?
Because I was telling you something about my health. I would have thought you would have read that.
She got a doctor's piece for everything, no?
My doctor wrote me a doctor's note. It's crispy.
Let me pull it out. Let me see. Let me get one of these notes here.
Do I have today?
Let's see. What letter I need? Portia, you're telling me you're not coming to my wedding.
Yeah, but I'm telling you something about my health.
It's not the flight. Bottom line is you're not coming. Well, she can't sit on a plane that long with her legs down. They used to being up all the time.
I can't with you.
I wish that.
So I can see how they're kind of saying that Shamia is a lapdog. I also feel like there's some jealousy in Portia's heart towards Shamia, because it seems like Shamia is living the life that Portia wants. And there's no way that you can convince me that you have this person that wants all of these things and their best friend has all of those things and there isn't some type of envy. Some girls, I think, can do it and they're okay with it, and, you know, your friend having more than them, but a lot of people really can't navigate that, and I don't think that Portia is navigating that well. I understand that Portia does fall in love quickly, which is why the whole situation with her and Simon may have been expedited. But I also think that she's looking for a big fish. She's looking for a rich man that can come in and give her this specific lifestyle that she's looking to live. That's also the reason why she left the show, is because she wanted to be a wife. And she had found Simon and, you know, she was trying to get settled into that lifestyle. Things didn't work out, unfortunately. That happens in life. But I think that Shamia is living the life that Portia wants. I'll leave it at that. And then we see, moving on to Portia, we see that Portia is having a back and forth with, who is she going back and forth with? With Drew. So we see that Portia is having some back and forth with Drew over her child's father, Dennis. Basically, Dennis and Drew have been working together, and she just doesn't understand why Dennis would then want to film with Drew. Now, on one hand, I was like, why is it a big deal if you already knew they were working together? On the other hand, I don't have children, so I can't say my child's father, but what I will say is if my ex was at my job all of a sudden with a girl that I worked with, I would have a problem with that. Because out of all people that you could be, you know, kikiing and working with and all this type of other stuff, why you gotta choose somebody at my job? And vice versa on the other hand. You knew that this was my ex. You knew that this was Portia's child's father. Why the all people you had to work with him? I think Drew is being messy, and I don't think Drew cares. Drew also seems like the type of person that would do anything for a storyline, and this is what this is giving. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. So just moving on to Simon and Portia's divorce and this whole situation. Portia does share that the reason that she divorced Simon is because there was a lot of things that was popping up that she did not know ahead of time. She mentioned something of scamming, specifically credit card fraud. She mentioned being his fifth wife, and that the fourth wife was actually something like one of the marriages were a fake marriage or something like that. And so Simon had a lot going on, and she also alluded to there being some illegal activity and her not wanting to be wrapped up into that, which is why she had to initiate the divorce. This divorce is very, very sticky. Again, I never really looked into it. I felt like the whole situation was weird from the beginning, and it did seem like Simon was really thirsty for the cameras, because when she filed for divorce and he knew he wasn't going to be on Real Housewives, Simon started posting all of his business on the internet for the world to see. Very messy, very sassy. We don't like that. And then moving on to Kenya. I know that Kenya is no longer an official cast member, and I really don't like that, because we don't get to see her. We don't get to see her comebacks. We don't get to see her, you know, snappy little sayings or whatever the case may be. And I like Kenya. I think Kenya is great entertainment. The girls like to say that Kenya is a mean girl. She may be a little mean, but the girl is entertaining and she's great for the show, and I like watching her, so. And I would probably like the show more if she was a cast member. Oh, and then Drew. So Drew goes into her divorce, basically saying that Ralph is asking her for alimony. He also wants some percentage of her businesses, and he took some of her money allegedly. I never liked Ralph. I don't understand how their relationship lasted for so long. Ralph is like a monster. It's ridiculous that she was even able to hold on for this long. You say what you want about Drew, but Ralph put that lady through hell. He really, really did. Yeah, I don't like Ralph. I don't. And I think it's weird that he lives in a basement. I get that, they're going through the divorce and it's a marital home and all of those other things. But I would have done everything in my power to get that man out of my house. I know it's only but so much you could do, but I would have wanted him out immediately. Like, what? And he's so petty, too. He's so petty. I know he's doing everything he can to make that girl, her life hell. And another thing that I wanted to point out, so going back to the Drew, Portia, and Dennis situation, she keeps calling Dennis her angel on earth. And I just think that's super weird. I think it's inappropriate. I think it sounds crazy. Portia also brings up the fact that they were working with each other on like a business level. And so she was an ambassador for Portia's hairline, and so that makes it even more weird. I just want Drew to like take a step back and relax and be so fucking for real. He's such a weirdo. And then we learn more about Kelly. Kelly is also going through a divorce. She alleges that her ex-husband or husband at the time took $500,000 out of her business account, which is insane. And yeah. And she talks about like the physical, the verbal, the mental abuse that she went through before filing for divorce. Her pretending like everything was okay. And her situation seems crazy too. So far, I don't necessarily dislike Kelly, but I wouldn't say that I like her. And I don't like the other new girl. And we can move on to her. So we learned more about Brittany. Brittany owns an insurance agency. We learned that Brittany also got married on Zoom during the pandemic, and so she wants to move forward with having an actual ceremony. I am still sticking by the sentiment that Brittany's husband is gay. Convince me that I'm wrong. That man is gay. They also said, we can move on to Angela, that Angela's husband is also gay. Now, Angela's husband is like a really famous basketball player, and their situation is really interesting because, Charles Barkley is his name. Because they were actually together for a while, and they actually have a child together, but they've only been married for 3 years. She speaks about going to counseling with him and wanting him to change some things about himself, but him not agreeing to that, or him not being able to change or willing to change. And so she ends up accepting him for who he was, or blah, 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 whatever the fuck he said. I don't know. The girls are saying he's gay. So I didn't get gay from him. I got gay from Brittany's husband. But yeah, Angela is gorgeous. She's an older woman. She's a self-made millionaire. I was going to say billionaire. She's a self-made millionaire. And I still don't see how she fits into the group. I will say that. I don't know how I feel about the other new girls, but I just don't really see Angela fitting in. Angela ends up coming for Shamia. And I'm like, out of all people, why are you coming for Shamia? Shami is like the sweetest person on the show so far, and so I thought that was weird, and I really feel like she's coming for her for a moment. She also went on an interview and said that she wanted to stick up for Drew during the first night, but she couldn't because her wig was lifting. Girl, stop coming for Shamia. I don't think that's the route to take. I mean, we'll see how the season ends, but as of right now, she's making me not like her, because why are you coming for Shamia? Again, overall, not loving the season so far. Of course, we know who my favorite is, Shamia. I would give this episode maybe a 5.5 out of 10. I wasn't really interested. I really only watched it because I said that we would review it, and so I'm keeping consistent for you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I would have watched it, but I would have half watched it, and I wouldn't be able to tell you nothing that happened. So we'll see what next week gives. We'll see. Hopefully next week is better. If there's a new episode or a different show that I like better, honestly, we might switch to something else. We may be, hopping, because as of right now, I'm not really loving this season.
Comment Confessions.
All right, so I never thought I'd be confessing this, but here we are. Buckle up. A few months ago, I let my cousin Marcus crash at my place for a couple of weeks while he got back on his feet. No deal, right? Family helps family. Well, fast forward 3 months, and this man is still eating my food, using my Wi-Fi, and treating my couch like a 5-star resort. No job, no effort, just pure audacity. One day, I come home early for work, and I hear music blasting from inside of my house. Weird, because Marcus texted me earlier saying he was out handling business, which I assume meant staring at his phone in the parking lot. I walk in, and this man is throwing a full-blown house party in my apartment. Strangers everywhere. My fridge, empty. My expensive candles, burning like we got a sponsorship for Bath & Body Works. And the best part that sent me... I walk into my bedroom and tell me why Marcus is in there chilling in my robe, sipping on wine like he's the king of the castle. I was so stunned, I just sit there and watch the jobless squatter live his best life in my house. I was done. No yelling, no fighting. I just walked out, calmly grabbed my phone, and ordered a locksmith. Marcus and his freeloading friends got a real surprise when they tried to leave for more drinks and realized that their access has been revoked. I stood in the door, waved, and said, "Hope y'all enjoyed the last party you'll ever have here." So yeah, I kicked out my own cousin like a bad Airbnb guest, and I have zero regrets. Family or not, I refuse to house a man who thinks rent is optional and house parties are a personality trait. Purr. I don't believe in babying men. And I think that I don't care who you are, any man that ever steps foot in your house, one should always be bringing you something. I don't give you a friend. I don't care if you are my neighbor. If you are a man and you step into my house, you better be coming in here for something that's beneficial to me. And if you're not coming in my house for something that's beneficial to me, then you don't need to be here. Period. So that means pay a bill, bring some food, pay another bill, change a tire, change a fucking light bulb, put up a curtain, something. You can't come in this house for free, baby. There should be no man ever that thinks he could be anywhere for free. Never. Okay? Money makes the world go round. Money pays my bills, and I need money. I need the money on. Cousin or not, you can't come in here for free. You can't. That don't make no sense. That's stupid. You did the right thing. I wouldn't feel no type of way. If I was you, he wouldn't even been at my house in the first place. We would have had to discuss some type of money arrangements. In this society, this is how I feel. Argue with your mother, and I'm going to wrap it up right here. Y'all are too soft on these men. Y'all are too soft on these niggas. Make them pay. You don't let no man come and live in your house for free. That's insane. That's stupid. If he don't have no money, then you don't got a couch. If he don't have money, you don't have a bed. He don't have no money, you don't have a home. What we gonna do now? What are we gonna do now? Anyway, you did the right thing, like I said, girl. You don't let nobody in your house. And FYI, I don't ever want to really live with a whole bunch of people anyway. So the only way it would be worth my while is unless you're paying. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It felt like it went by so fast. I feel like I didn't even say anything, but whatever. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm posting this on all platforms where you can stream a podcast, so definitely go. Give me 5 stars. leave a beautiful comment. Tell everyone how amazing this podcast and how is your favorite, all of the things. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.